So I've heard this term debt consolidation thrown around. I want to know, what is it? How do I do it? Does it even make sense? So today we're going to ask Dad, debt consolidation. Tell me all about it.
Well, debt consolidation essentially means to take multiple liabilities or debts that you have and turn it into fewer, ideally one, and ideally also at a lower interest rate overall than any of the ones you're trying to consolidate into one loan. Okay. So it's normally done when people have a bunch of different credit cards that they're maxed out on and they're paying 26% interest on it or something like
Hmm.
that, and maybe they have a home equity line of credit at 12%, and they can use the 12% debt to pay off the 26% debt and get it down to one monthly payment instead of four or five, whatever that might be. You're consolidating the debt into one. That's the idea behind it.
Yeah, I heard of a woman who had five different types of debt,
Mhm.
different credit cards, and her idea was to consolidate it into one. But her problem was the consolidated debt amount was an interest rate of around 14%, and her individual pieces of debt were only about 7% in interest. So was that actually, that would be a bad decision for
A
her,
bad
correct?
decision. She's losing 7% more
She
on her money
her
by doing
idea
that
was convenience, but that doesn't make sense.
at a very, very high cost. It
Mm.
does not make sense financially to do that. It would make more sense to try to get one of those 7% debts to allow more credit and then pay off the others with that so that you only had the one,
Oh,
something like that. Keep it at 7%, but not to take out a 14% debt to pay off a 7% debt.
say the example again was a credit card company charging, 20% interest. Don't they want to keep you paying that? So what do they think about debt consolidation? Do they have anything to say about it or
No, you can pay off a credit card balance anytime you want to. So they have no say in the matter. The thing is that most people who get to that place don't have good options as to where to borrow the money to consolidate the debts. So it may be a good idea in theory, but in practice, it may not be possible to do it depending upon other factors in the person's life. So yeah, maybe, maybe not.
where do you go to get your debt consolidated?
Well, I mean, you could hypothetically go to a bank, right, and ask for a
Okay.
personal unsecured loan. Secured
Uh,
meaning it's not against your house or your car or something like that. There's no collateral. There's no
mhm.
nothing the bank can take if you don't pay the debt. So you could try that. There are various companies that issue this kind of debt, but they're often in the 20 to 24% cost range, just like the credit cards. So they're really not much better than the credit cards are. By the way, about the credit card companies, you said they want to just keep you paying 26%. They do and they don't. At a certain point, they start to worry about whether or not you're ever going to be able to pay off your balance or if they're going to end up having to charge it off and take a loss. So, there are pluses and minuses for the credit card company of having balances out at 26%
Hmm.
interest. It's not that it's easy to get debt charged off, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. So people do this all the time now. They contact the company and they stop payment. They contact the company and say, I can't pay it. We need to negotiate a lower amount that I can pay off. And if you have a $20,000 balance, they may agree to $1,000 balance at no interest that you can pay off over 5 years and you get out of debt that way. Now that damages your credit rating if you
Mm.
do that. So debt consolidation doesn't damage credit rating, but debt reduction, debt write-off, things like that do impact your credit.
Bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy, absolutely. You'll go 7 years without being able to borrow money if you
We
if
should do
you
that video
declare
next.
bankruptcy.
Whoa. Well, there you have it. That is debt consolidation. I learned something new today. So thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you soon.